Today we are going to study the second chapter of economics, that is money and credit. When we turn the pages of history, we will find that money was used in various forms at various times. The different materials that were used as currencies, the different goods that were exchanged in trade make a very interesting story. Barter system. Before the advent of money, people used to follow the barter system of exchange. Suppose somebody has surplus vegetables and he needs wheat in lieu of that. Then he could find a person who has surplus wheat and needs vegetable. But the major drawback of barter system was the coincidence of wants. It used to be difficult to find a person who can fulfill the coincidence of wants. Moreover, it was impractical and difficult to carry heavy goods for barter. In the historical periods, coins of precious metal started getting used as medium of exchange. In the historical period, coins of precious metal started getting used as medium of exchange, and this was the birth of money. As precious metals were difficult to procure, so slowly paper money currency notes began to replace them. In India, the Reserve Bank of India issues currency notes. The other form of money is the deposit with the bank. At a point of time, people need only some currency for their day-to-day needs. Bank accept the deposits and also pay an interest rate on the deposits. In this way, people money is safe with the bank and it's earn an interest. People also have the provision to withdraw the money as when they require. Since the deposits in the bank account can be withdrawn on demand, these deposits are called the demand deposit. A deposit in a bank offers the customer the facility of issuing checks. A check is a paper instructing the bank to pay a specific amount from the person's account to the person in whose name the check has been made. The recipient of the check can deposit it in his own account in his bank. The money is transferred from one bank account to another bank account in a couple of days. The transaction is complete without any payment of cash. Without banks, there are no demand deposits. Without demand deposits, there is no modern banking. Let us study about the loan activities of banks. People deposit their extra money in the bank. Banks keep a small proportion of their deposit as cash with themselves to pay the depositors who might come to withdraw money from the bank on any given day. Banks use the major portion of the deposit to extend loans. In this way, banks mediate between those who have surplus money, that is the depositors, and those who are in need of fund, that is the borrowers. Banks charge a higher interest rate on loans than what they offer on deposits. The difference between what is charged from borrowers and what is paid to the depositor is their main source of income. Now let us study the next topic, that is terms of credit. Every loan agreement specifies an interest rate which the borrower must pay to the lender along with the repayment of the principal. This is called the terms of credit. In addition to the interest, lenders may demand collateral, that is security against the loans. A collateral is an asset that the borrower owns, such as land, building, vehicles, etc. and uses this as a guarantee to a lender until the loan is repaid. Sectors of credit in India. People obtain loans from various sources. The various type of loans can be conveniently grouped as formal sector loans and informal sector loans. The formal sector loans can be taken from banks and cooperatives, whereas the informal loans can be taken from money lenders, traders, etc. The formal credit sector. The Reserve Bank of India supervises the functioning of formal sources of loans. The banks maintain a minimum cash balance out of the deposit they receive. The rest of the deposit money is given out as loans. The RBI monitors that the banks actually maintain the cash balance and sees that the banks give loans not just to profit-making businesses and traders, but also to small cultivators, small-scale industries, to small borrowers, etc. Periodically, banks have to submit information to the RBI on how much money they are lending to whom and at what rate of interest. The informal credit sector. There is no organization which supervises the credit activities of lenders in the informal sector. They can lend at whatever interest rate they choose. There is no one to stop them from using unfair means to get their money back. Compared to the formal lenders, most of the informal lenders charge a very high interest on loans. Thus, the high interest rate of borrowing can mean that the amount to be repaid is greater than the income of the borrower. People who may wish to start an enterprise by borrowing money may not do so because of high cost of borrowing. Banks and cooperative societies need to lend more to the underprivileged so that they could grow crops, do business, set up small-scale industries, etc. Therefore, cheap and affordable credit is crucial for the country's development.
हो गया?